Jack has had several questions about Passap color changers lately, so this is a 2-video series in which he's going to take one apart for you and put it back together. Because that's what it takes, either to deep clean it or to replace a broken eyelet holder. The eyelet holders are all alike, so you can buy 2 junk color changers and perhaps get one working one. Jack recommends using a magnetic tray like this one to keep your parts from getting lost.
If you'll notice, this little screwdriver is bent on the end. I put it in a vise, and I deliberately did that. It's got a little hook on its very end. You can see it against my finger.
You made a circlip tool.
Yeah. This little tiny screwdriver comes in all kinds of little screwdriver sets. But I put a bend in the end of it so that I can get the edge of that bend in and have something to pry against without the circlip going sproing.
Filming the removal of a circlip is incredibly difficult. So I'm hovering in midair right now, and we're going to try to show you this one time, and all of them work like this.
All right, this is my special tool. Goes right in the slot. Here's my trick. Put the magnet right there. See what happens? We got that off. It couldn't go flying across the room. This is your color changer. We're going to start right here with a screw that I've already loosened and take that off. And there's one on the other side, and then your cover comes off. Now we get down to the nitty-gritty. We're going to take the color changer itself off of the extension rail. So I got my special little screwdriver here. Let me see. Ah, there's better light. I'm going to take off this circlip. All right, as we've mentioned, it is very difficult to pop these circlips off on the camera. So now I have both the circlips off of this little rod right here. So we're going to begin our disassembly by going all the way in one direction and flexing it just enough to get it out of the hole and up. And then if you let it go forward of a grooved area right in there, you can wiggle and slide, and now that's out of there. Now I'm going to pop one circlip for you. This one's easy to see. I'm going to put my fingers over it so that when it pops off, I can catch it.
They do go flying.
They do. And your nice magnetic tray helps. So you've got this one off. And you'll notice that everything's in the normal position that you would find it, not selecting anything. This is its static position. So the next thing we're going to do is pull this rod. And as we say, if this were the one that was broken, this would be easy to change. For our friend, I think it's this one that's broken, so you have to take it all apart to get that to happen. Now, here's what I'm going to do, is I'm putting these down because without that rod, these will go flying. And just to be safe, I'll ease this back in. I'll show you how easy it is. There it is, lined up. And it'll float in there satisfactorily. Now, this is what you would do if you were going to select this bobbin holder to run that color of thread. So what we want to do is select them all at the same time. You saw how I did that. Both thumbs, push them down till this pops into place. Now, you can see the distance in there. They're out of the way. Now we're going to take this little guy back out so you get to see this more than one time. There you go. Bring it forward toward you, and then a little bit of twisting, and it'll slide right out. Now, we're done with this until we get it reassembled. Now, notice these rods are pointy, all 4 of these on this end. That means they go from this side, on my left, through to this side. That's what the pointy part is to guide them through these different pieces. All right, little pressure. I usually use just the blunt of the pliers. Give it a little tap. Now, we did not pull the circlip on this side, so that I can grip it here and slide it out 1 unit at a time. Let me point out, here's the little spring base is right there. The big spring base is right there. So this is big spring, this is little spring.
Hang on, show us again.
Okay, this is big spring, this is little spring. The base of each spring is right there on the face of this bobbin holder. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so remember that position or take a picture.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put my finger here, my thumb, right there. And you see them starting to drop the minute it comes out of the other side. And there you go. That's the little spring is out. The big spring's still caught. But there's its spacer. And you see how it forms a little top hat inside the spring. Again, you got to keep these things in mind. Now, we're going to free these. I'm getting a grip on them. You need, this spring needs to go the other way. Let me see if I can get light. There you go. See, that is a clip base right there. This spring, the flat spring that you see in its T-top, has to come free. And I'm going to do it manually and flex it and let that up. We didn't get a rod quite far enough. There we go. And here's what I was talking about. Now this spring hooks around this rod right here that I'm pointing to. So it's going to try to stay on there until this is out. But you see how this pivots on your favorite thing, a circlip. We've already had this apart and cleaned it up, so it looks pretty. But
well, it looks less horrible.
Right. When you go to reassemble, start it down so that this spring is completely free of its T-cap right here. And then it locks it into place. And this stays here. It doesn't go here until we get everything put back together. And then we pull the release and that lets it go. But now that's how that comes out. We'll do one more. Camera watching. Move, move, move. Oops. Went a little too far. But you see what happens. There's the springy part.
Yeah, we had pieces flying all over the place moments ago. I've been scurrying around finding them on the carpet because, you know, they always fall on the same color places.
But you see, there again, that spring was hooked right underneath that rod right there. And this shows in the reassembly, and there's your top hat. And if you set it down like that, it stays in the right order. Again, this one's come loose because I went a little far. And you can just snatch this rod out because we have a reassembly video.
And it would be faster, but you might get pieces hiding from you.
Right. Now, what I did while you weren't looking is slip this underneath there so that I can push it. And that's what happens when you get the sproing effect.